Steady camera. Hi everybody, how you doing? Radical Jack here. Day 6, and yeah, feeling okay today. Just had my meal. Yeah, I must say, yeah, I was allowing myself like a couple of Inca berries and one or two cashew nuts. Just a kind of a pretend thing, like just to stave off the idea of dessert or any of those kinds of programs or things that might jump into my head. But yeah, I had my meal. It's one meal. My quinoa beans and kale, and then yeah, I had rather a large handful of nuts afterwards, and then quite a few of the Inca berries, and I was aware of myself and kind of like, yeah, looking at the potential slippery slope, as one says, how this kind of stuff can get in, if it's in front of you. But it's okay. It's all good. It's not a big deal, I'm still working on the reality of, you know, uh, possibly introducing a superfood mix, and using some chia seeds, perhaps. I'm going to see how I get on, I mean, the idea is not to, push stuff into my body that's not really going to help with the fast. But anything like a Brazil nut a day is supposed to got plenty of iron and selenium. Just little things like, I think intuitively I'm gonna figure some stuff out as I go along. So yeah, it's all good. And feeling a bit yeah, like ready for the well, I've got to collect my water today. So I usually get my water from the wells, and it's amazing how quick it goes. Four times 25 liters. So yeah, I do drink plenty of water, and I think it's really important. And yeah, we're moving out of the sun. As I said before, there's 14 communions in the Gospel of the Essenes. There is 7 in the morning, 7 in the evening, one for each day of the week. The 7 in the morning are with the Mother, as in the Mother Earth, and the 7 in the evening are with the Father, as in, great mystery, great spirit, And yeah, so the second communion is the Angel of Water. And since I'm collecting my water today, and yeah, it rained last night for the first time. First walk, either up or down at Ishnok, and yeah, it was still pleasant. It's all good. All the weathers are different. It's had an amazing sunrise this morning in Loch Crew. It was just spectacular. The sun was right on the horizon. And I managed to do my 3 Wim Hof fire breaths, with Gemma's little exercise she gave me. And I could feel myself, yeah, like today I was very much into kind of clearing stuff in the house and, getting things organized and stuff. So after 3 months of reflection and no pressure, I'm feeling like the spring is well and truly in the air, and the brushing off the cobwebs, and yeah, really like cranking up that engine, like slowly but surely. But I think that's the trick, not to, if you're taking up exercise for if you haven't for a while, just to take it easy. Take everything slow, no pressure. I think when we're younger, I know from my experience that we often burn out really fast by going too hard at it, and can do ourselves an injury as well. So same with all things, I think, slowly, and we last a lot longer and are less likely to injure ourselves and stuff like that. But the Angel of Water, anyway, this is, yeah, it's, I'm just going to do it. It's I've done it in ceremony before, and I add it to my poetry, and often there's a water thing happening somewhere, and I've presented it. It's a very powerful piece. Changed it slightly, in little places, but so here it goes. Angel of Water, she who maketh the rain to fall on the arid plain, who fills the dry well to overflowing. We worship the waters of life. The waters run and flow forward from the never-failing springs. In my blood flow 1,000 pure springs, and vapors and clouds, and all the waters that spread over all the 7 kingdoms. All the waters the Creator hath made are holy. The voice of breach is upon the waters. The God of glory thundered upon many waters. Angel of water, holy messenger of the earthly mother, enter the blood that flows through me. Wash my body in this rain that falls from heaven, and give me the water of life. Now, one of the reasons why I've lived in Glastonbury for like 16, 17 years was because I came across the Tor and the 2 springs that are below it, which one on one side of the road is white and one on the other side is red, i.e. calcium on the white spring and iron in the red spring. Now, powerful waters, especially if you're anemic or lacking in calcium. So, I was already buying bottled water at that point, back in, mid-90s. And to find a spring, it was like, wow, free water, I've long since had distrust towards, the tap. So here we go. I think this is turning into a water feature because the importance of water, according to Dr. Emoto, please look up his works and check him out on YouTube. He's passed away sadly, but he's the first guy to remind us of the memory of water and its capacity to. I mean, let's just say some say there's an alphabet in water and that it can be programmed or deprogrammed, whatever the case may be. So he was famous for taking pictures of the molecular level of water, before and after. Let's say, for example, praying. On 1 pint of water, he would pray, give it love and light and speak beautiful words and healing vibes and stuff. And on the other pint of water, he would just put hate and war and destruction, and just horrible, angry thoughts, and words. And when he took pictures of either one of them, the one with the love and peace was the most beautiful kind of structure, Mandelic type structures, crystal structures, beautiful formations, whilst the other one with the war and the destruction was fractured, like completely just chaos, nothing. And so this was very interesting, to learn about this, and goes to show you then how important it is to, give thanks. Once upon a time, before we drank from our cup, we gave a little drop back to the mama. And we don't live so much close to nature anymore, and it's kind of difficult sometimes, but it's even just the idea of it, and when you're outdoors to try and, offer something, the same with your food, it's full of water too. It's, our body is made up of water. So I think, when you really get into it, and I find this very interesting too. There was an amazing video up there once upon a time, brought to me by Stella and Tara, who coincidentally I've mentioned before, in the Active Remedy foundation that they've grown. Now these mother and daughter, they travel worldwide, go to all the G20 conferences and various other mountain partnerships. I mean, their whole story is all about reforestation of the mountain ranges of the planet, which is directly linked with the fresh water cycles. And they say when the roof goes, it's not just the lungs of the planet, it's the roof of the planet, and it's an important. They believe that this is the one thing that can bring everybody together, and so they had a video put up once, and then it disappeared. It was such a powerful video. You just think, well, where did that go? It got taken off the net because it was very powerful. It was saying a lot of really interesting things, and that's when we've had miracles in Ireland at all the sacred springs and wells and stuff like that. It's just showing the power of water in relation to maybe the possibility of just not having ever had good water because it's been tapped in. Maybe in ancient times it was, there was different reasons why it was polluted or stuff, and it was hard to get good clean water. Certainly, it's well known that they put fluoride in the water these days, which is not good for us. And some people say, conspiratorially, that it numbs us down. And so, whatever you get into, whatever you look at, just the fact is that water is a powerful healing and necessary elixir. Whatever you drink, whether you add herbs to it and heat it up, or whether you're someone who drinks cans of alternative juice, or whatever the case may be. But to get away from the nasty Coke and 7-Ups and all these sugar-based drinks, it would do the world of good. So, and to replace that with water, and making that effort to remember to, pray on it, And when I say pray, like I said before, we don't have to get religious about things, it's a matter of intention and saying lovely things to that water, with the possibility, right, that, it's a fact to some people that the makeup of the water changes. So just even giving gratitude and thanks is a really good thing. And so that prayer is, some say it's 20,000 years old and still stands the test of time. If anybody wants to look at that further, you can go on the internet and you can see the 14 communions of the Gospel Essenes, translated by Edmund Bordeaux Skesley, and it's up to you to make your own research, as I said, in relation to these things. If you put the truth about water into the engine, and when you see what's actually happening out there, there's some serious, interesting takeovers. My friends, as I said, Stella and Tara, witnessed something themselves at the Brazilian conference a few years ago, where they're changing, the human rights to water to humans' access to water. And this doesn't sound like much, but like when you look into it, it's pretty serious. Because there's water shortages everywhere, and some say water's the new oil. So, be grateful for living in a country like England and Ireland, for the fact that there are so many springs and wells, and we need to protect them and open them up. And for those of us, or those of you who might have some money, to send them off and get them checked and see if they're safe, because obviously if they're near farms and there's runoffs at certain times of the year, they're not necessarily healthy, So yeah, what can I say? The whole water story is you do be doing yourself the world of good to find your local spring, and make sure that it's accessible to other people, and tell people about it. There's one in Ireland, Keeju it's called. I've known about it for a long time. It's probably closest to my own hometown, and a very popular spring. And last year or the year before, a couple of years ago, it was they said it was unsafe to drink. Someone got it tested. There was nothing wrong with it, So they're constantly messing with us in relation to the reality that, is it possible? Yes, it is possible, maybe to heal all sorts of ailments through just water alone, and the power of that water when it's in its natural form, Some water is high alkaline, so this is very important as well when you're treating cancer or pretty much most ailments or disease. So there's many people out there research this, the truth about water. There's many things out there in relation to just putting that into the engine, very interesting stuff. It's well worth looking into, and so yeah, for the next 5 days or so, we'll I'm going to be speaking that communion daily, and happy days, concentrating on making sure that I myself are concentrating on praying on my water and giving gratitude and thanks, which I often forget to do as well, So there we go, that's today. Only a few seconds left. It goes pretty fast. I'm trying to get into the rhythm and rhyme of 15 minutes. But lots of love, people. Love you.